Early start today, about 5:30. Topping off on fuel at the shop. Headed to Fort Wayne to Precision Planting Winter Conference. So Precision Plantings obviously made their name in planter upgrades, of which we've got a few on our planter. Looking at maybe doing one or two more in the future. So that was interesting to see them talk about at the meeting. Seen before, but kind of looking at their new residue managers on the front of the planter, and their furrow force closing system might help us, especially in some of our tougher no-till and cover crop situations. Might help us out with that. But some of the stuff they presented this year, or showed off more of, their vision system for sprayers. I got to see that last year when I went to the conference at Tremont, and now they've been working on it for a year. I noticed the camera looks a little different. So you're taking your PWM nozzles on your sprayer, so every nozzle has its own control, but adding the camera element, they are doing spot spraying of contact herbicides, and they're talking about reducing your use of contact herbicides in certain situations by like 70 to 80%, which is that, I mean, that's a lot. I think for us, like Roundup was up to $10 an acre last year. Prices of chemicals have doubled. So even though we don't have a sprayer, stuff like that makes owning a sprayer more palatable. Buy an older sprayer, just like we bought an older planter, retrofit the sprayer. Maybe that's something that's in our future. I also liked, they were showing off, it's just in beta this year, but their new Panorama app that you can get on Android and Apple. It's going to open up the doors to where your precision data can flow to other places other than field view. I think you guys know I use field view here, but I use other brands of stuff too, and it's not always, you know, the best transferring data from one to the other. So it looks like this Panorama app is going to open up those roads to make that better with quite a few other companies. So that will be interesting. So seeing how the vision stuff has come along was really interesting, and the announcement of this Panorama app will be something worth following for sure. Well, meeting's over. I just came from across the street because they gave us parking passes to the Fort Wayne Farm Show, which is right here in this building across the street. So I'll pop in there for a little bit before I go home. Couple things I can show you here better at the farm show across the street than the meeting. Interested in Precision's furrow force closing system. If we get a chance to try that. One thing with no-till and covers, we've struggled closing our seed trench a little bit in certain situations, and something more aggressive like this might help. And row cleaners we might want to change. So they've got a row cleaner, their reveal system. The thing about this is, one, you got a gauge wheel, so you can kind of set the depth of your trash wheels where they run, and then you've got down pressure beyond that. But the main thing is they mount up here on the frame instead of the faceplate of the row unit. So this bouncing around all over the place like our current row cleaners doesn't affect the ride of the row unit and shake it all around. So I think we'd have less downforce we need to run, which would be nice, and it would just take away all the noise and chatter out of that. So that would be kind of cool. I'd like to get my hands on a row or two of those and see if we can do something. So maybe we'll get lucky and get some of that this spring. We'll see. Lots of colors of tractors you don't see on our farm. Other greens, yellows. Up here there's a red tractor that's black. There's also red tractors that aren't case tractors. A couple oxbows down there. Pretty cool stuff. Never been up to this show before. There's the red tractor that's not a case. Massey Ferguson. They've even got some orange ones here.